My name is Val, and I run the biggest setting coaching company in the game. On top of that, I also run a setting management recruitment agency, and I'm here with a friend of mine and client as well, who I helped generate over $360,000 in 2 months with 2 different clients. With that being said, I hope you enjoy the video, and if you stick around to the end, I offer a free 30-minute call where I drop a bunch of sauce. Make sure to do that. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Peace. So to get things kicked off, do you want to kind of introduce yourself, talk about who you are, what you do, that type of thing?
Yeah, so basically, obviously my name is Boris. We run a growth partner agency. We primarily work with trading creators. If you don't know what growth partnering is, basically we'll partner up with these coaches and scale their e-learning side of things in terms of the marketing, the sales, so that they don't really have to focus on anything but fulfillment and content. But yeah, that's just like a brief
Okay,
intro.
beautiful. And what are your main clients now, if you will? Obviously, they're trading clients, but how much are they doing per month?
They're both doing 6 figures and multi 6 figures
Okay.
consistently. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. So your clients are doing 6 figures per month in the trading niche. Now, with that being said, obviously me and Boris partnered up essentially on the setting management recruitment agency I operate and helped him scale his partners and have better success with client acquisition, that type of thing. Pretty much place, manage, and train sales reps in regards to the setting we have. Now, with that being said, we can kind of take this more casual now. We kind of did all the important stuff, but
All the corporate questions.
all the corporates. But do you remember how we met initially?
Yeah.
How do we meet?
Okay, so this actually goes back maybe a year ago. A year
A
ago
while
now.
back now, yeah.
So basically, he was running his coaching program. Obviously, if you're watching this video, you probably know that he's running his setting coaching program, and he had one of his very first reps reach out to me in the DMs, and I took a whim out on this guy, and he actually ended up being very good. Now, fast forward to maybe half a year later, 7-8 months later, he launches his new offer or his new company, which is the recruitment company.
Yo.
And he was doing market research calls. Now, I thought this was a Fugazi. I thought we were hopping on a call because I sometimes do the same thing where it's like kind of Trojan horse. Go up on a call, talk, try and like see if there's any room to actually put yourself in there. But Val has told me multiple times that wasn't the case. He was genuinely just hopping. He's a very cool dude. He's authentic, no glaze. But we basically hopped on for market research, and he started asking me questions. Started giving me sauce, and by the end of it, I felt inclined to hop on a sales call, and he closed me in like 15 minutes. I was like,
Yeah, 13. Yeah,
13.
13.
Yeah.
So I pretty much ran market research calls when I started the setting management recruitment agency. And besides that, I will explain this real quick. I think it makes sense too. I run the biggest setting coaching company in the industry. I have people looking at me as we speak. But I run the biggest setting coaching company in the industry. And on top of that, I ran the setting management recruitment agency. When I started that, I had to do market research, obviously get a better understanding of who my ICP was, who I should market to. And I reached out to a lot of growth operators, coaches, all that type of stuff that I knew. And Boris was one of the people I reached out to. And then through that, we did a call. I dropped some sauce, kind of broke down the fundamentals of everything, kind of give you an insight from my perspective on how businesses operate primarily off of people's like mental, more so than actual skill set and that type of stuff. And from there, I proposed a sales call. We got on that and I went from there.
Yeah.
So that was a fun call.
It was
15-minute sales call.
He like ironed out a proper sales pitch, and I was like, okay. I had a couple objections, but this guy busted it.
Yeah.
Yeah, really quickly.
B2B is my bread and butter when it comes to sales, just because it's a lot more straightforward.
It's logical.
You do get some objections, but it's a lot easier in my opinion. So how come you did want to get on a follow-up call actually?
Well, I knew you, right? But for me, it's hard to build trust, right?
There's a lot of bad eggs in the industry.
Of course. So I didn't feel like I couldn't trust you. So I was fine hopping on another call. I don't know. I don't remember within that first call, were you mentioning anything about the mental side of things? Because that was the biggest thing.
That was the main thing on the first call.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he broke down very much so. And this is why I would recommend a lot of people go with Val, right? Val's not paying you for this, by the way. You should, but
I should.
But the main thing that pushed me to actually hop on with Val was his ability to break down the mental blocks that is within what I do and what most agencies, or how most agencies run, right? You can only go so far with your current leverage, right? And this is why you see bigger and bigger corporate companies, obviously hire out managers, right? Or hire out other agencies because they can't fully focus on one thing, or they can only focus on one thing for so long before it becomes a bottleneck, right? And for me, I wanted to acquire more and more clients, but I wasn't able to do that if I just stuck and stayed within the systems, right? I very well could have just stayed within the systems, ran the setter managing side of things, but he broke it down in a very simple way that, if I wanted to scale to six figures, multi six figures with the agency,
Oh.
then I would need to eventually delegate. And that was a very strong lesson. And I'm glad I did take that leap. I was going to say leap of faith, but
There's a difference between risk and calculated risk.
yeah,
That's a big thing.
it was very logical. It was very logical for sure.
Yeah. What would you say was the main thing behind hiring a setting manager at that point?
Right, what do you mean?
Like, what was the main thing behind hiring a setting manager? Was it the peace of mind? Was it just finding sales reps? Was it everything? Was there anything specific that kind of stood out for you?
Yeah, it was mainly the peace of mind, right?
Okay.
I didn't want to be within the trenches, if you will.
Yeah.
Right. But also it was like definitely a recruiting thing, right? If you look at, especially within the info space, right? There's so many young guys just getting in and they don't actually know how to set. They don't know how to close. And so what you have is a lot of, younger guys that do want to have really, like, they want to make a lot of money, but they don't have the experience or the skills to back it, right? And so what you have is like this big cesspool of reps, but so you can either go down one of two paths, right? You could go ahead and train them all up by yourself, spend a lot of
From zero,
time, a
yeah.
lot of money from zero, or you can leverage your connections, or just even people and get those reps.
Yeah.
But again, there's only so many people that you can actually source from, and then also there's those top reps don't want to be on some of these offers that are doing
Yeah.
less money, or if you're just launching an offer, it could be hard to convince some of these reps.
Yeah.
So yeah, a big thing was definitely also the recruiting side, and we did leverage that heavily.
Yeah.
From recruiting and training.
Also,
It's
on
not
the
even
second
just a
offer, too.
recruiting thing. Sorry?
Also, on the second offer was a big thing as well. Like, because we did a launch, we obviously had to find reps
Yeah.
on an offer that wasn't particularly proven yet, even though there was like a track history. We had to convince people to stay on, and then we scaled that to six figures too. A lot of people would have issues finding reps for that.
Mhm.
That's a big thing as well. I think a big thing is like the way I've systematized my coaching company, or like my business, I should say, is primarily for B2B. So I have a B2C, the most successful setting coaching company in the industry right now, where we have like dozens of reps at this point. I trained, some are placed, some are ready to go, whatever it is. Dozens of reps just trained in to a T, extremely good. And then we also have the B2B side of things where we have this management, retainment, training, whatever you want to call it, recruitment, setting, management, training, and recruitment essentially. So we have like both of these that go hand in hand because we can find reps, we can place reps, we can manage reps. It's super easy, especially because I have a team behind me, like a sales manager, obviously I have setters, all that type of stuff. So it just works out really well. It's like you've developed this big ecosystem that if you need reps, you can place. If you need clients, well, it's easy to acquire clients as well, especially with the proven results we've gotten. But with that being said, what do you think about growth operators or coaches that are either in the DMs on their own setting or just managing setters?
It's ridiculous. I mean, even if you look, again, Val's not paying me, but like it is ridiculous because, I mean, even from a growth operator's perspective, if you want to become a better growth operator, you're not going to be setting yourself.
Yeah.
Same thing
More
with a
leverage.
coach. You need more leverage. How do you get more leverage? Well, you hire a team, right? The biggest thing from personal experience, because I used to be not the best growth operator. I still think I have a lot to improve on, but I used to be really, really bad at growth operating. And the biggest thing that was holding me back was actually leverage, right? I was trying to close myself. I was trying to set myself, set in the DM, set in on SMS, on everything, dial people up. There's only so much you can do. Even though you feel like you're working all the time, it doesn't mean that you're going to be making the most amount of money. You need to look at it from a wider horizon. And the biggest thing that, in terms of something that I learned, was the aspect of leverage. Because I had one offer which is the first offer that you hopped on, a couple of months back, right? By this time, we ended up already scaling it, right? But a big learning experience on that offer was that the more reps I placed, the more money we made. It was a direct correlation because we realized, if we leverage every single stream or marketing stream, so that means emails, SMS, dials, IGDMs, if we had a rep in every single avenue, even though the guy only had 9K followers, if you're a coach and you don't even have that big of a following, but you still want to scale, right? There's still ways to do it if you have a proper team hired out.
Yeah.
We placed a rep in every single one of those positions, and we were booking in, 10 calls, 20 calls a day because of that. And that's what literally allowed us to scale to 6 figures, right? And having, a proper sales team placed and trained is very crucial to that.
Yeah.
I think you can agree. Am I allowed to say the reps' names?
If you want, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, we could ask for
rip-
the permission
rip it,
after.
rip it,
We could bleep it anyways. But anyways, with Angelo, Nate, right? Those guys are killers. And without those guys in the positions that they are, if they weren't trained up, then we wouldn't be even close to 6 figures.
Yeah.
Right? So you can go ahead and leave this video and leave with the understanding that, like you could just talk to a bunch of setters and place them yourself. That's not going to get you anywhere though. Like, yeah, maybe you'll make a little bit more money, but it's very much so a skill thing as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think you can agree to that.
Of course, yeah. I mean, to build off of that, like you didn't start with setting, right? Like you
No.
obviously had to do setting through growth
Of
operation.
course, yeah.
But when you do something like that, your skill set's quite limited. As in, there's a lot of guys I work with that they think they're great at handling their own setters. They think they're great at training them in, but it's like you've never done setting before. And when you ask them, and I'm going to ask you the same thing too, if you're a business owner, whether you're a growth operator or a coach or whatever it is, maybe a manager, how good is your setting? You're going to say 5, 6. Maybe if you're slightly delusional, you're going to say 7, maybe 8. But it's like in the reality, you're probably a 5 or a 4. So if you're a 5 or a 4, your setters will always be kind of at the same level, if not below you. So let's say you're a 7, just delusion, your setter is probably going to be a 5 or 6. And if they're operating at 5 or 6 out of 10 skill set wise and performance wise, that's going to be a direct correspondence on your business, the amount of money you make, the amount of company culture. I think something worth noting as well, and do you mind if I break down when I joined the team for the first offer, like kind of what it looked like, what was going on?
Sure.
Okay, so when I joined, we had another dollar on the offer who was kind of arguing with a lot of people on the team. And it kind of broke the company culture to an extent because people weren't as open with communication. People were kind of stressed out. They don't want to say specific things. So the first thing I did, and I'm going to drop you guys some sauce right now, is make people realize that you are not the enemy, you're the friend, and you're trying to be on their side of the business. So I did one-on-ones with everybody on the team. And even though maybe it took 2 or 3 hours, whatever it was, I got insane ROI because I got everybody's opinion, everybody's perspective, how they thought the offer was doing. Was it good? Was it bad? What was the best part? What was the worst part? And just kind of broke their brain down to a G and just figured out what is it you guys want to do as well. So like, what are your actual aspirations? How does it align with this offer? And it's quite funny because when I joined, one of the guys, he wanted to be a closer. Now he's been closing deals, like piffs back to back to back to back. And I was able to help him transition because of that. He was more incentivized to work harder. But I joined, I did one-on-ones. I figured out what was going on, what the biggest bottlenecks were, what was holding them back from scaling, what was the biggest issue on the offer. And then what do you actually want to do? And after gathering all of that information, I was able to kind of figure out like a war plan call, I guess, in my mind of what we actually need to do to be able to scale a transition, make it more feasible, and get rid of these loose actionables instead of like what a lot of people have, where they don't really know where they're going or how they're going to get there. I was able to break it down and make them understand how close we are to our goals. And then after that, I think we had 30% less lead flow the month after. And I think we made more than we did the month prior, or like a very similar amount. I was like, we had less lead flow. We should have technically made less, but we made the same amount, if not slightly more. It's like when you look at it from paper, it's a skill set and sales rep thing. And I made them realize that there is a difference between quantity and quality, because when lead flow went down, because it's info, it probably will, you need to approach it with the quality aspects instead of quantity when it comes to setting. As in, every conversation is a touch point, because if somebody has a conversation with you today, it might only take 2 more to book them in for a call. So I was basically able to train them into a higher standard, but also make them understand that they're closer to their goals. They should have a pure incentive to work harder. A lot of the people on that team were offer stacking, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So we like kind of rearranged that. Some people stopped offer stacking, some people left the offer. Obviously, that was ruining the company culture, and just resystemized it for it to operate like a multi 6-figure per month business before we could get it to multi 6 figures per month. Like, that's a big thing. Like you can't have, it's like the gym. If you want to get in shape, you have to develop the skill sets and habits. It's the same thing for a business. You have to operate like a 6-figure per month business to actually become a 6-figure per month business. And I was there to kind of say, what is it we need to do? How do we need to do it? Why do we need to do it? And make people conscious of it too. The biggest thing with sales teams is going to be communications, always. So we're able to do that. We're doing pretty good right now.
Yo, yeah, it's not just a skill thing. It's not just a lead flow thing, because you can have those things be up to par. But what happens when nobody wants to work with you?
Yeah.
That's a big thing. I'm glad you brought that up, because that's actually a huge thing. Company culture, without it, that could literally be the difference between making an extra 50K per month or 100K per month, right?
Yeah.
Because once you align, like Val said, once you align your vision with where your team wants to go, or align your team's vision where I'm not saying that properly. Okay, wait. If you align your team's vision to your vision, and they have their heads on straight and they know exactly where they need to go every single day, well, then you could work crazy numbers.
That's the thing. Like to build Amazon, you don't do it one lifetime, you do it multiple.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I operate my team that we're on track to double what we did last month, which was already multi 5 figures. I was able to do that through treating my team in the same way I treat other teams. So it's like, if I treat your team how I treat my team, best believe we're going to scale and do better and make more money. A big thing is for people as well, like make them realize that this is their way out of the situation they're in. If they actually want to get to where they say they want to go, this is what they need to do. And this is how you get them closer. This is how you make it easier for them. So I think managing teams isn't particularly that difficult. It's just understanding their mental, their alignment, what they're trying to do, why they're trying to do it. And also, like, sourcing talent's one of the most difficult things, which is my bread and butter because I have this setting coaching company. I'm essentially built for this. Like, I'm going to monopolize this entire industry with or without whoever. And it's starting to become more and more and more proven. I say it often, and you're starting to see it now too, I think.
Yeah.
I'm breaking into every, like, little gap of info. UK, US, all this stuff. I think it's quite funny. Now we're going to get to the salesy point. So if you don't really want to know why it was enjoyable for Boris to work with me, you can click off now. If we see a crazy drop-off retention, that's fine. You're not my ICP. But if you are, Boris, was there anything specific you enjoyed about working with me?
Communication.
Yeah.
That was huge. So Val and we actually talk about this all the time. If you're running an agency, or even if you're a coach too, if you're running your own sales team, right now, you want to sell the perception, or that sounds kind of bad.
Yeah.
But it's very much so, you want to at least communicate what you're doing constantly. Because, I mean, let's say you are paying Val, or you're paying me, or you're paying someone else. It would suck to not know what's going on constantly. And that's something we really, really ironed out. So I know you're doing a lot of crazy things on the back end to make sure that communication is constantly going out.
Yeah.
I'm in the constant know of, okay, what's bad? What should we improve? What is the team saying? These things, although they may seem small in the moment, when you map them all out, you can see very distinct patterns that allow you to make a lot more money over time, right? So to me, I don't see it as, a 1 month done deal. It's very much so month by month by month, and say by month 3, by month 4, you're like, oh, okay, now I see how we can improve, right? And that's very much so what I do on my offers as well, right? We have constant end of days, and we're constantly reviewing the data. If we can't see that data, then
like procedures, all that stuff.
Yeah. Besides the communication, obviously the recruitment helped a lot. I'm in a position where I can go ahead and recruit myself. I just don't want to, right? I can leverage my network. I could go ahead and do that, right? But for me, I found it very easy to work with Val in terms of placing these reps, making sure that they got trained. It's not just Val being a one-man team. I mean, same with me, right? If you want to, again, leverage comes into play, right?
Yeah.
If you really want to scale and do things properly, you need people in specific positions, right? Val is working heavily with a team to train up every single rep individually so that they get to the next level.
Yeah.
It's not like he just hops on, one call a week and then it's a done deal. No, he's in the trenches. Same thing with his team, right? And that's kind of what you need if you want to get to the next level.
It's also you want your team to be conscious of the fact that you are in the trenches with them, because if they see you on holidays, not doing any work, not doing anything, they're gonna say, "Well, why am I working with this guy? He's living the dream, and I'm just working and making him money." Like, that's kind of why I guess in the corporate game, a lot of managers pull themselves out and hide themselves away because you don't see that. The good managers always make you feel like they're working amongst you. Those are the ones we typically like. I think with that, it's definitely worth noting everything you said, but I think a big thing is definitely just having a good team, having good friendly culture, having good systems. It's a fool's game to try to like I have an SDR manager that would surmounts me with the dollars. And even like took onboarding processes like daily calls until the team is dialed. How do we tell if the team's dialed? I have my ways, don't worry about it. But it's more so making sure we're all on the same page, making sure communication's open, making sure everybody's trained to like an 8+ minimum. And then you can start resystemizing which for like 3 coaching sessions a week. So with that being said, do you have any final notes or anyone watching this?
No, I mean, yeah, you just cut it. No, I mean, like genuinely, I mean, if you want, again, Val isn't paying me. I've said it so many times that it kind of sounds like you are paying me.
I don't have enough money to pay.
Yeah, yeah.
Got some more clients through this video.
Bro. But anyways, so if you want to get to a point where you can see yourself in a leveraged way and you're not within the trenches, very much so go with Val, right? I'm saying this and I've had him hop on multiple of my offers and I haven't had regrets. He's helped scale these teams, helped build the skill within the teams. He's trained every single rep individually. You know, he's gone very far. And he's gone very much so in the trenches to make sure that I'm happy. Right? There's a lot, like we said at the beginning of this interview, there's a lot of rotten eggs in the industry. So, I mean, it's up to you. Maybe you might want to hop on a call with this guy. Maybe not. But if I'm sitting here, where are we? Montenegro? I'm spending time with this guy. Does that say something? Right? Yeah. No, I'm only here because Val's paying for everything, right? No. But no. I really I'll put my brand, my name on the line to say that I have had no regrets with Val. So genuinely, this guy's a good guy. If you want to scale your team as a coach, as a growth operator, definitely hop on a call with this guy. Do it now. Book a call down below. Call to actions on par. But genuinely. So much respect for this guy.
Can I grab your mic?
Yeah. The battery died.
My battery died. Yeah, my mic died. But I'll make this very simple and I'll make it very clear. I run a B2C with a 100% success rate in regards to the setting management training and all that stuff. Setting training, 100% success rate. It's doing multiple 5 figures per month. I've already conquered that game. I'm already going to continue to conquer that game. I'm at a point where I want to expand into B2B because I find more pleasure and enjoyment in it. So I am deep in the trenches, like Boris said. I'm not someone who gets on a call and just sells you right away. If you want to get on a call, we can get on for 30 minutes. I can give you as much value and sauce as possible to help you operate the way I operate. And if you feel like you're in value debt and you're like, damn, I do need to get on a sales call, we can do that as well. But if you just want free value, I'm not even going to say sales call. If you just want free value and you want me to give you 30 minutes of my time so we can hop on, I'm happy to do so. And I can put you in a better position where you can actually make more money in the next few months. So with that being said, if you do want to hop on a call, just shoot me a message and we can go from there, or you can book in down below. I'm going to drop a 30-minute calendar, but I'll see you guys soon. And thank you for your time, Boris.
No problem, Valentino.